What's going on, guys? Kivox here, and finally we are going to be doing and making and putting fully together the 1000 subscriber play button. And in the past, I did the 100 subscriber play button, which is this little guy right here. I think it came out pretty good, but I ended up going back, redesigning. My throat is like dying. This was the 100 subscriber play button that we made in the past. Video about this, I will link to it right up there. This one is probably the simplest way to make a play button that looks decently good. It's very few parts to this, very few components, very cheap. Not a lot of tools that you're going to need to make this guy, so make sure to check that video out and let me know what you guys think about this. We hit 1,000 subscribers a while ago, but I decided, you know what, let's go back, let's figure out how to make this. It's been kind of in the pipelines. I've been trying to figure out the best way to make this play button for a long time. I've had lots of failures. That's the big thing. I've tried several different designs, several different things, and I've mentioned that in the part 1 of this video. This is kind of going to be a reboot of that, because if you want to figure out the main way to make the main play button, go back and watch that video. But in this video, I am going to be showing you all my failures, all of the mistakes that I've made, and hopefully give you guys some tips so you guys don't make the same mistakes. It really, really sucks when you put in several hours into doing something and it doesn't come out. It just ends up looking like crap, or you're just not happy with it. Personally, it's one of the most discouraging feelings ever when you put in, let's say, 5 hours into making something, and then right when you're at the end, like right when you're 30 minutes away from finishing, something messes up and that happened to me about 4 times. The last time I was actually able to save it and go back and fix it without having to redo the whole thing. I would say the past 2 weeks I've been just trying to finish this play button and get this guy out, make this video, and it's just been a complete failure on my part. I don't know, I just kept messing stuff up and it's been really bad. But I finally did it, and we finally succeeded in making the final play button, which I am very happy with, very excited about. So before I show you guys that play button, let me give you guys some tips and tell you what I did wrong and what you guys could do to make it a little bit better. Let's start off with the materials that you are going to need for this. I went over it in the previous video, but I'm gonna go over it a little bit more again in this one. You're gonna need some pieces of MDF. You can get this at any big hardware store. It's basically medium density fiberboard, and what it is basically wood powder compressed into a sheet of fake wood, but it's still real wood, and it's dusty and powdery. But what's good about it is that it has a nice finish, doesn't have any grain on it, so it's a lot easier in some ways to get the final product finish on it. Next thing you're going to need is a shadow box of some kind. A shadow box is basically just a frame with some depth to it, so you can fit more things inside of it. Therefore, the play button that sticks out is going to fit in there without being mushed up against the glass. The other big purchase that you're going to have to make, besides the tools or saws that I mentioned in the previous video, remember to check that out, because if you kind of start on this one, it's going to be a little bit harder. But if you already have the play button done, then we're at this stage right now. I am a fan of the Krylon Fusion or Krylon, any of the Krylon paints. What I ended up using for this, initially I bought this Krylon Color Master Primer / primer paint, whatever. You know, it has the primer built into it and it should work pretty well. But what ended up happening is I didn't fully follow the instructions perfectly, because I'm actually used to using a different type of paint, but I couldn't find it at the time. So here's the thing. Let's start off with failure number 1. This guy, as you can tell, it was kind of a play button. You can see the triangle inside of there. I tried a couple of different things because I wanted to see if I could get a different finish on it by using some epoxy on the outside. I ended up getting this as the result. didn't really work out. I was trying to, like I said, use some different types of finish. This wasn't even with paint. I didn't even use paint on this yet. I was just trying to figure out a way to get a nice smooth top. So this is one of the big failures. Definitely don't do this. I'm not even gonna go over how this happened because there's no point. Just don't try to use epoxy on the top of it because it won't work. Obviously, this guy wasn't exactly a failure, but I just didn't like the way that it looked because I didn't want the rounded edges around the triangle, because the new play button style from YouTube doesn't have the rounded edges. It has the pointy, about 45-degree angle edges. So I ended up scrapping that one, even though the finish on it was very good and it looked pretty nice, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna use this, and then I realized everything was different, so then I changed my mind. Then we started making some progress. In the previous part 1 of this video, you saw that I made a play button out of the MDF, cut everything out, everything was going good. I was gonna paint it and then make this video about it. So I went on with doing that. I started painting it and everything was coming out great. But then something weird happened. Like I said, I didn't fully wait for the paint. It says to apply a coat and then apply a second coat within 2 hours or after 48 hours. What I ended up doing was I waited 24 hours and then I went to apply this center triangle here, and I even started recording a video about it. What's going on, guys? Kivox here, and we're gonna be making the 1,000 subscriber. When I went to go paint it, this happened. It seems like the fumes and the fresh paint going on the paint that wasn't fully cured yet ended up making it kind of crack and go into this weird design that looks very not good. It almost looks like the red part of the play button is bleeding out into the white. Some people may think that looks cool, but personally that is not what I was going for. So this was the actual play button from the previous video that I had to scrap and start from scratch. After this failure, I ended up making a new play button, and that was this guy. This is the back of it. I'll show you the front in a sec. With this, I actually I made it a little bit smaller because I thought it would look a little bit better. I actually tried to taper the edge of the triangle right here so that it looked a little bit nicer and it looked more like the real one. But then when I went to paint, it was always when I came down to the final painting process, I put on the first coat, sanded it down, put on another coat, sanded down some more. I waited another 24 hours, and when I went to go put on that, you know, finishing coat, the final coat, it was gonna be the end of the coats. I was gonna put it on, I was gonna wait 24 hours, maybe an hour, I don't even know. I was gonna wait, and then it was gonna look great. As soon as I put that final coat on, I had only, again, I didn't put that coat before 2 hours, and I only waited 24 hours. Ended up getting a bunch of cracks all over it again. And then me being the dummy that I am, I tried to like scrape it off quickly while it was still wet, and then I ended up getting a little something like this, and it looks like garbage now. So I had to scrap this one as well. So that was number 4, basically, that I had to just get rid of. That being said, I went back to the drawing board again and tried to figure out a way that I could just do a white coat and then not have to do that center red coat, because that's the theme of this play button. It's going to be white with the red triangle, like I mentioned before. If you watched the previous one, you know that I took 2 of these, 2 layers, and layered them up, glued them together, sanded it all down, made it nice and round. But before I did that, I had cut out the triangle, so then I had 2 depths to that triangle. I had the back wall and then the side that was cut out. I did something a little bit different in this one, where I just cut out the center and cut out the outside on 1 layer. And as you can see, it came out pretty good. It was a lot easier to end up painting and getting a nice finish on it. I almost messed this one up because I did start spraying it early. As you guys are painting this, if you guys are doing it with spray paint, make sure you paint something else as well, so that when you get to that, let's say 48-hour mark, and you want to go do that final coat, paint something else as well that doesn't matter to you, a little piece of scrap, so that you can go and hit it with that paint, see how the finish turns out, see if it does that little spidering thing, because you don't want that to happen. When that happens, you basically ruined your piece and you're not gonna be able to really get it back. All I did was cut a small piece of the MDF, stuck a red piece of vinyl on top of it, and the plan is I'm going to stick that behind the white play button with the cutout in the center, and then you're gonna get that red in the center, and it's gonna look really, really nice. Take it from me, it did end up coming out really good. You will see it soon when everything is all said and done. What I ended up using for the paint was a Krylon Color Max white primer for the white part of the play button, and then I went back with a clear coat Color Max, again, same product, but make sure, guys, you wait the 48 hours before you apply that clear coat, because again, it will mess up your product if you don't follow the instructions directly from the can and or whatever other paint product you are using, because something weird happens and it gets all spidery and then messes up your stuff, and you honestly, that's not what you want. That's not what you want to happen. Trust me, it's a bummer. It sucks. And now that we have the play button pretty much set up, almost ready to go, almost ready to get stuck onto the paper, what you're gonna wanna do is take apart your shadow box and cut out a gray piece of backing paper for the back of the actual shadow box. Now we're gonna come to a step where it may be a little bit harder for some. If you don't have a vinyl cutter, the other option would be to try to cut out the letters yourself, which would be almost impossible to do. Now, option number 3 would be to go to a craft store and pick up some of those sticker letters. What you want to do at this point is figure out what you're going to want to write. This design, I will put a link down below to where you guys could download this. If you have a vinyl cutter, you'll be able to use it on there. Once you have your vinyl cutter, cut out your piece of vinyl with all your letters and your congratulations for surpassing blah 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 subscribers. What you're going to want to do is peel back that outer piece, which is like one of the hardest things. That really took me a while to cut out and really, you know, get it nice and get all the letters stuck on there. A couple times I put the letters on the wrong way because I wasn't really reading what I was doing. So if you guys noticed that in the video, I know I ended up fixing it at the end, so be nice. Once you have your vinyl all cut out and you just have the letters and the YouTube logo on there, what you're gonna wanna do is apply the transfer paper on top of that guy. So the transfer paper, what that'll do, it will help you peel back the vinyl stickers, and be able to apply it without having to apply every single individual letter. What you're gonna wanna do next is take your play button, finish putting it together if you haven't already, and once you have that all nice, put a little bit, all I used was a little bit of hot glue to fasten the pieces of MDF together, stuck them to the back, and then kind of figured out where exactly I was going to line up the actual play button on the sheet, and then this is the part that was kind of scary, because once it's on there, it's kind of like you're kind of stuck with it. That's kind of the best it's gonna be. You could always use like a piece of double-sided tape to hold it on, but there's no guarantee that that's actually gonna be strong enough to hold your play button on all the time. If you end up using some heavy-duty 3M double-sided tape, yeah, that'll be fine. But if you use some very thin double-sided tape like I have, may not be strong enough to hold it. So just keep that in mind. Now all you have to do is put everything together. Make sure you don't cut yourself on the glass or anything like that. It is very sharp, and that's not what happened here. This was from something else. But still, don't cut yourself. It's bad. It hurts. So going from the 100 subscriber play button to the all new 1,000 subscriber play button is pretty exciting, guys. It's all thanks to you that I was able to make this, and that I was inspired to make this, and I kept trying to make it, and eventually I was able to succeed in making it. Remember to leave any questions down below. If you have any questions about this, I will leave you guys with some B-roll of this so you guys can get some nicer, closer up shots. Does that even never makes sense. Anything I say, nothing I say ever makes sense. you guys want to see more videos like this, if you guys want to see me do the 10,000 subscriber bronze play button, make sure to let me know down below. I'm going to pretend that you guys made it for me, and I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys. I keep saying thanks a lot, but I can't thank you guys enough. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to smash that like button if you like this video. If you guys are still sticking around, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Again, if you guys want to see more of this, let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye, bye, bye.